It is my pleasure to introduce you to our first speaker today. I'm happy to welcome Ms. Rajase, National Director of Special Olympics Senegal. Raja will speak to us today about how Special Olympics Senegal has utilized the Special Olympics program quality standards to analyze and strengthen the programming of Special Olympics Senegal. Program quality standards are known as PQS in short. These were designed by Special Olympics, of course, Special Olympics International, together with program representatives to support the local program development. They can be used as a local tool to help in program development or as an assessment tool by a program. I call the PQS or program quality standards as a Special Olympics manual. As you know, when you buy a computer, it has a manual. When you buy a kettle, it has a manual, and so on and so forth. When you buy a phone, it has a manual. I call the PQS, program quality standards, as a Special Olympics manual. And if your program is not using the PQS, then you are taking a very long road to a very close destination. We plan to conduct program quality standards awareness training soon, and please look out for the training invitation. During Raja's presentation, if there are any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat box, and we will address them at the end of the 3 sessions this morning. Welcome, Raja.
Merci, Charles. Merci pour cette introduction.
Thank you very much, Charles. Thank you for this introduction. Good morning to all of you.
Sorry, my apologies. I also want to alert everybody that Raja will be speaking in French. So if we can, the English speakers, please take note that you will need the English translation. Thank you in the English room. Raja, please proceed. I apologize.
Merci, Charles. Bonjour à tous et à toutes. Merci à la région Afrique de donner l'occasion au Sénégal de présenter donc les normes de qualité standard telles que nous les avons utilisées au Sénégal. Donc, on peut mettre la première diapositive, s'il vous plaît. Je ne vois pas la diapo, c'est pas grave. Donc, voilà. Donc, en fait, pour commencer ma présentation, je voudrais faire un screenshot de ce que c'est les chiffres de Special Olympics Sénégal entre 2006 et 2021. Alors, en 2006, Special Olympics Sénégal était un tout petit programme avec uniquement 6 athlètes, un site d'entraînement et un sport, ce qui nous a valu d'ailleurs d'être restructuré en 2009.
Sorry, Raja, can we just fix something? Can we please have the English translation? We're not hearing the English translation right now.
Hello, hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello?
Go ahead, Raja. Translation,
Good.
Please. Can we have the English translation?
Can you hear me, please?
Okay, so I go.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Je disais que donc en 2006,
So I was saying
Go ahead,
that in
Raj.
2006, Special Olympics was a very small program with just 6 athletes, and we had to restructure our team. 2009, 2021, we have more than 3,500 athletes who are in each program, and they are training on training site. We give them 8 Olympic sport. We have other initiatives that have been proposed by Special Olympics that we offer to our athletes. Among them, we have Unified Sport, Health Impact Program, Youth Innovation Program, leadership, athlete leadership programs, and we end of 2021 and 2022, we have Play Unified and Learn Unified with the support of SO, And we currently, in partnership with the Ministry of National Education, working on this. All this help us to increase the number of activities and the number of the athletes. And this was done thanks to the support of partners. We have a good list of partners who have been supporting us in this program and the activities thereof. Now, how did we manage to go that far?
Aussi petit que cela. En 2009,
Like I
nous avons
said, in 2006, we were very small. In 2009, we reorganized ourselves. We called on the Africa region to help us to resume SO activities and do it in compliance with the standard of Special Olympics. So we had a training on the program management. Next slide, please. We had a training on the program management that was conducted by Charles Stackway, and a small group of Special Olympic Senegal leaders were trained. But we realized that there was still a lot of things that we needed to master. So we started to read the general rules of Special Olympics. And yesterday, Charles Nyambe talked about it briefly when he told us that we were not to do publicity for alcohol and tobacco. So we read the general rule. It was a long experience, but it was very important and relevant to know all this about the recommendations of Special Olympics in the management of programs. In reading the general rules, we identified the urgent rules to be implemented, and we launched many chapters, which included the administrative reorganization of Special Olympics, the recruitment of athletes, and recruitment of volunteers. And we worked on these three chapters that we seriously conducted, and it yielded fruit. Next slide, please. Over the years, we focused on the general rules of Special Olympics, and in 2013, Special Olympics came up with a new tool, which is the Program Quality Standard, PQS. And we, from 2013, we capitalized on the PQS to better manage our program. Next slide, please. Now, what are the program quality standard of the program? In fact, the PQS is a tool that helps all the Special Olympics programs to self-evaluate themselves, because it helps them to know where they are standing. What is their situation? What should they do? In fact, we studied or assess our situation, and we did it at many levels: administrative level, organizational level. Is our administration effective? Does it work well? How do we recruit the athletes? The management of competitions. How do we participate? How are we organizing our competitions? Do they match or comply with the norms? We did a self-evaluation in marketing and communication. Do we make good and effective use of the SO marketing tools? Do we make better use of Special Olympics tools and logos? And we also evaluated our fundraising activities. How do we do that? Is it effective and efficient? Where do we need reforms? And the self-evaluation is a three-pronged self-evaluation process. The first level is the beginner's level, the minimum level that we should have, and the second level is the average, the medium level, and the third is the excellent level. That self-evaluation helps us to make a state of the situation and stop take on what we are left to do to reach the highest level. And more importantly, I would like to say that self-evaluation is a paramount step to define new objectives. And we see that the PQS helps us to define new objectives. Now, how do we define new objectives? We ask ourselves the basic question: what is our ambition for the year? What do we intend to improve? Where do we intend to put ourselves, or where do we think that we will be standing in the medium, the short, medium, and long term? And we define the areas where we want to achieve the objectives, administrative, or the number of athletes recruited, or the number of competitions. In fact, it helps us to invest more time on reflecting on how we will uh, carry out all the actions that will help us to achieve the objective. Fine. And for that, the PQS helps us to prepare a roadmap. The roadmap helps us to ask the right question to achieve our goal. We self-evaluated ourselves, we defined our goals and objective, we prepared our roadmap, and uh, following that, the PQS will help us to do a monitoring of our progress and celebrate our achievement. Have we achieved our goals? How did we manage to achieve our goals? What do we need to readjust? What worked and what didn't work? What are the actions that help us to achieve our goals, that help us to succeed in the various actions and activities that we conducted, and also to celebrate our success and show to our board and the family and athletes that we have been able to achieve our goal. Next slide, please. Now, in a concrete manner, how did Special Olympics Senegal use the PQS? First of all, we started to work on the administrative organization. We reorganized the way we work, and the reorganization is done at many levels. We have the board and the national directorate, but also the sub-program. We have 8 sub-programs, and we needed to organize them again. We appointed sub-program officers and planning site officers. It's a different because in CAR, we have many sites that constitute one sub-program. And we also appointed national um, directors for the programs and the national communication and marketing officer, um, um, and a national accountant for the management of our funds. And we have a person responsible for young athletes and health. And that national organization was duplicated in sub-programs. Each sub-program has its chief officer, director, young athlete, and health directors. We duplicated the same administrative organization. And to facilitate the discussion and change sharing of experiences, we created WhatsApp group for each program officers, one for program directors and various initiatives. Also develop a national Special Olympics Senegal program, all the partners who are working with us. Each of the officers, we define a profile for the position, telling what we exactly expect from him. Now, regarding the action plan in October and November, we need to prepare the plan, the action plan for the year to come, which is aligned on Special Olympic action plan format. And that plan, action plan, is a key element in the management of Special Olympic plan. Because if we don't define what we are planning to do, we will not know where to go. So this action plan is a very important tool, and each of the sub-program must work to develop this action plan just for 6 months. If we cannot do it over 1 year, at least every 6 months we have to do so. We also established a learning support unit, which include various officers to share experiences. And it was established by the FAO in 2012, and we asked them to come and help us do that. They meet once or twice in a year, depending on the budget that we have to organize the annual meetings. And this is the time to talk about the do the stock taking of the year, and we define the overall objective of Special Olympics, and express our difficulties and challenges, and also tell about our success and achievements. Each sub-program has the same exercise at its level in order to come and present it at national level. Also, ask each officer to send a monthly report of its activity, because the learning support unit meets once or twice in a year. So a monthly report is prepared by the program officers that send them to the National Directorate. We study them, and then it helps us to continue to dialogue with program officers in order to identify some weaknesses and areas of improvement. The executive committee meets twice in a week, in a month, to do a review of all the activities which are ongoing and do the necessary readjustment when necessary. Next slide, please. To close, I would like to remind you that the new quality standards were done based on the new strategic plan 2020 to 2024 of Special Olympics. It's a very well-crafted tool that helps us to forge ahead and gives us precise indication on the implementation of the strategic plan. It will help us to have a close monitoring of actions to conduct. And so I would like to conclude to urge everybody to read these quality standards and start implementing them. I want to thank you again for your undivided attention, and I will remain at your disposal for any questions.
We know that many of you in the programs have so many great best practices that you have, that you're doing, that you use in your programs. But the reason sometimes we don't highlight them is in our newsletters or in other gatherings such as this one, is because we don't know about them. We can't publicize what we don't know, because sometimes you don't realize and you keep them to yourselves and only share them within the program. So we would like to make an appeal. Please share these great stories to Romy, our communications director, and we will surely make them public for others to implement. We must create a library of best practices from which you will select, for use whenever you would like to, when the need arises. So let us develop what we're going to call an Africa Region Best Practice Resource Center, that, like Charles raised, that video, and that we will record his presentation, and Raja, and so on and so forth. And many of you, Ansela, shared the best practice of how they raise money in South Africa, and so on and so forth. If you can put those on record and send your best practices, because you are the ones that work hand in hand with athletes. Every day you face challenges and you find ways to mitigate and go around and navigate around these challenges. We would like you to share them with us so that we can make them public and others can benefit from it.